Hey there, Libras. Welcome to your September reading. I'm happy to be here with you and happy to be halfway through this month after we finish your reading. And thank you so much for being here today. I actually brought out the Witch's Tarot for you, which I haven't used for a long time. I just felt really inspired to use it for your reading. And I'm doing a couple of wake up shuffles here because I haven't used this. This deck has been, it's been put away for a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna be doing a forecast coming up for you. What is the energy now around you and what you can be looking at for the next month or so from the date that you watch this reading, okay? And I will be having an extended reading for you as well. And you can find the link to my Vimeo channel below if you want to go deeper into your love messages. And I'm sure we'll also get 18 plus on your love messages on my Vimeo channel as well, okay? So this whole reading isn't about love though. It's about all the different areas of your life, and I'll be using an astrological wheel to help me create the structure of your forecast, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect me to my Libras who come here today with an open heart, seeking your guidance. Thank you for allowing me to be the medium and the channel between yourselves and the mighty Libras, okay? And Mercury is in Libra right now, and as of tomorrow, Mercury will be retrograde in Libra, so my Libras are gonna feel that for sure. Let's go ahead and see, but it'll be a good one. We're gonna be positive about it and say, you know what? It's gonna be a good one. I just saw the Two of Wands, so that's a good thing. Let's go ahead and do it. The cards are wanting to pop out here. Spirit, can you show me Libra for the next month? Can you show me Libra now and for the next month, please? Can you show me Libra? Okay, that's what they want. So this is the first house, second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, you get up here and it always gets a little tight. 9, 10, widen this out a little bit here. 11 and 12. Okay, so these represent the 4 houses of your astrology charts, and we're going to look at the 4 houses in a astrology chart, not necessarily yours, but it will be representative of you for this next coming month. 9 of Pentacles is on the bottom of the deck, so we're going to have a good day. All right, well, and at least so on the bottom of the deck is the energy that you're coming from, okay? And coming from in the last month, you have been really focusing on your self-worth, your growth, and empowering yourself. And I love this version of the 9 of Pentacles because it looks like she has like 9 solar plexus energies shining around her. And she looks stunning, actually, and radiant and confident and pure and excited and busy too. The 9 of Pentacles can also be very busy. It's a Venus and Virgo card, and it's also, for me as a reader, a card of looking and feeling your best too, okay? So let's see what you have coming up. It's also the Lord of Material Gain, so it's about making smart decisions with your money and making good choices for yourself in general that will help to create an even better future for yourself, okay? And also with the 9 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, some of you could be coming from a phase where you were single and ready to mingle as well too, because the 9 of Pentacles is very independent. Independent of what anyone else even thinks of her, independent of what's happening around her, like she's into what she's up to. So let's go ahead and check out what's happening here. We have the 4 of Swords as your first house. We have the 5 of Swords as your second house. We have the King of Cups in your third house, okay? And we have the Emperor in your 4th house. Very interesting energy. We have Death in your 5th house, okay? We have the 7 of Cups in your 6th house. For your okay, Libras, So I feel like with this Nine of Pentacles, this is really where you want to be, okay? And maybe with the moon beneath the Nine of Pentacles and the Magician, you had days in the past month or so where things were like, where you're feeling powerful, you're feeling good, or you're feeling on point. But at the same time, it might have been kind of up and down. It might have been to where you, like one day you were riding high on life, and then the next day you weren't sure that, what you were doing and what you were creating was actually working. And some of you could have been deeply, deeply worried about something that you've spent a lot of time on perfecting, okay? So that's the energy coming from the past in what was happening then. So we have Five of Pentacles in your 7th house. We have the Tower in your 8th house, okay? And dear Libras, okay? And we have, there's a real feeling with the Tower and the Five of Pentacles underneath it of being chewed up and spit out. Do you know what I mean when they say I felt like I got chewed up and spit out of something? And yeah. Some of you Libras, I'm also getting the sense that some of you Libras here could have dealt with somebody where there was some secrets going on, or there was some things happening behind your back in your romantic connections, and it really thrashed you, or it really thrashed your sense of what was happening around you and what was real versus what was fake, okay? And actually I'm getting, for some of you Libras, intuitively I'm getting a message about somebody having bad behavior towards you in a relationship, and possibly even cheating, okay? Because I can't dance around the word. I feel like I'm trying to dance around the word, but I just can't dance around it, because I feel like Spirit is saying cheaters, cheaters, cheaters. So, and with the Nine of Pentacles and the Moon, you might be asking what am I doing wrong? I've been taking good care of myself. I've been setting my intentions every day. Granted, I don't always feel the best every day. And some days I don't even know what the hell is coming my way, but I am trying. Okay. And, somebody kept saying today, do your best and try, which is very interesting. But we can see something that happened here, with someone's careless, rude behavior with the Tower in the 8th house that you didn't realize, that you maybe didn't realize was going to happen, okay? And also, for those of you that have partners, Libra, for those of you that are, you've got partners, or you're dating someone, it doesn't have to be a full-time partner, but you've got somebody that you're interested in, or that you're dating or talking to, or you have a partner. For some of you, your partner is going through massive issues with their money and their work, okay? And your partner could be experiencing a sense of worthlessness and a sense of lack of purpose, and could be really struggling, okay? So for those of you, and from where you came from the Nine of Pentacles, so it hasn't always been easy to get to where you are today, but you've managed to stabilize yourself under some hard conditions, I feel like. And your partner, it shows that your partner is having some real issues. So like I said, whether I almost just said whether you're doubting someone or not, okay? So whoever, because the Five of Pentacles is definitely an energy of doubt. And you know what? My dog literally just puked as I was saying that. And she has not, let me see. Yep, she puked. And she has literally, it's kind of right by my table where I'm at, she hasn't puked for months. So it's very interesting that I'm talking about your partner, and the Tower is definitely an energy of puking, and the Five of Pentacles is I feel like crap afterwards, after we've been puking and throwing up, and then our body is, we just feel ragged, we feel raggedy and tired. And some of you, your partner may have been feeling very sick too. If it's not a financial thing, they could be feeling very, very sick, okay? And some of you just have very, very sick partners, and there's nothing actually physically wrong with them. They're just sick in the head, okay? And it's no laughing matter, right, when it comes to love. But it just shows here, because in astrology, the 8th house, which is where the Tower is right now, is also the house of your partner's money. So your partner's money is definitely experiencing a kaput, or experiencing a major kick in the crotch, is what I would say. All right. And there's what I'm getting intuitively is just this energy of this isn't going to work, or this isn't going to work anymore, or I can't do this anymore. And so they may be experiencing some real moments of doubt, or real moments of, like every man for themselves. I can't, I can't really focus on what's going on with you. I'm about ready to meet my maker over here. Okay. So it's not an easy situation, where the Tower can sometimes bring a really intense experience of freedom. And even though it strips us down to practically nothing and delivers us, from the belly of the beast, from the devil, and strips us down to nothing, some people can deal with the Tower better than others. Some people were just like born experiencing that energy. And with the Tower in your 8th house, Libra, you have experienced some upheavals, and because it's in your 8th house, and you might have been experiencing this for your whole life, honestly, like seen it a lot of times, where basically the things that you were counting on, or the things that you were expecting to come through for you, didn't come through for you. And that's why I think you have this very strong 9 of Pentacles here, showing just how through even difficult times you managed to bring yourself back up. Even if you were tired, even if you were worried, okay, you still managed to bring yourself out of something in a way that is actually very admirable, Libra. Like the way that you pull yourself through out of difficult situations, okay? And the 8th house in the tarot is also a house of anxiety. So this is where we're starting, we're getting really, really nervous about something, because we feel intuitively with the Tower that something big is coming, okay? And with the 4 of Swords in your 1st house representing you, the 4 of Swords has this element of, okay, but that's great and all, but I don't really want to deal with that. I just want everything to be peaceful and normal and serene and comfortable. I really don't want to, I really don't want to have to go through any more shit. Do you know what I'm saying, Libra? And also I feel, because we have the 3 swords behind this wall, I feel like, you guys have a good sense for when bad news is coming, or when a heartbreak is about ready to infiltrate your world, okay? And some of you may be trying to get out in front of that, so that in the future it's not going to like bother you as much. And I think some of you are very intuitive to know when a situation is starting to look ugly, okay? And some of you, I feel like, are gonna be like grasping and holding on to your last few minutes of, peace, or your last few minutes of maybe it's almost an energy of hiding out too, because in this 4 of Swords, she's hiding behind this wall. And the intuitive message that I'm getting from her also is, I hope I didn't do anything wrong here, okay? Because with the 5 of Swords in your 2nd house, and you may be wondering, you know, like now all of a sudden I have a bug bite that is itching on my leg, and I literally have never noticed it until now. And I don't know when I got the bug bite or why it showed up now or why it's itching. So there's just a lot going on, I feel like. And, you know, this is about saying, I know it's a cruel world out there, and I know it's a tough world out there. I've been through ups and downs myself, but can I just have a moment of, you know, before the shitstorm of the world, you know, comes a knocking at my door, can I just, you know, is it okay if I just have a moment of peace? Okay. And, you know, you guys also, I have this feeling that you may not be interested in hearing other people's excuses for why they can't or why and I feel you guys are very empathetic, but some of the energies I'm getting in your reading are kind of like this energy of don't bring your problems to me is kind of what I'm getting, okay? And maybe it's just because you have been dealing with the Tower in your 8th house. You have been dealing with some tough situations for quite some time, okay? And I mean, I also feel like when other people are suffering, it also impacts you too. And it's like, okay, I have to brace myself for this as well. And, you know, your 2nd house right now is in pretty bad shape with this 5 of Swords, okay? And I'm just giving you guys the straight up real of the real, and I'll get into solutions and but I just have to I gotta be straight up honest with you guys, because that's the way I do the tarot. I don't fluff it up. I mean, I think people would rather hear a real account of where they're at and the things that they could consider and do, rather than just hear someone, you know, BS them. And also, I feel like with this 4 of Swords in your 1st house, there could be, you know, there could be something, particularly with a partner, that they're suffering and struggling, and you can tell that they are, and they may be very like long suffering or suffering and struggling with the 5 of Pentacles, and they've really run into some issues here of, you know, exhaustion, of, you know, of health issues, of self-worth issues, and they're kind of at a point, they're at a breaking point, and I feel like they don't know what to do about it anymore. And you guys may feel like with the 4 of Swords across from your partner, you may feel like there's not a lot that you can do about that, okay? And, you know, I'm just getting this intuitive message with the Tower in your 8th house of, well, if it's got to go, it's got to go, you know? Like the whole it is what it is thing, okay? And you also have death here too. So in your 5th house. So the 5th house is the house of children and pleasure. So for those of you that don't have children and you look at your house, your 5th house, as a way to gauge like how you're feeling about life in general and your own mojo towards life. And the 5th house is actually a very pleasant house in classical astrology, and Venus rejoices in the 5th house. So it's a very nice house, but you guys have death in your 5th house, saying, you know, even if I try to look at this situation from a more positive standpoint, it still is very, very challenging, okay? And I get it, because I feel there is something of a crisis maybe going on right now. And I mean, lucky for you guys, you know how to, like, you know, even if you had no sleep with the moon, even if you were up all night and you had absolutely no sleep, you would still look amazing. So at least there's that. You know what I'm saying? At least there's that. But let's go ahead and see what else here. We have the 8 of Wands in your 9th house. Okay, so I like that. That's good. I feel like that's a good place for the 8 of Wands to be. We'll talk about that. Okay, we have the shadow side in your 10th house, which in this deck is the devil, okay? So we have the devil in your 10th house of career, all right? And some of you may be in careers that you absolutely cannot stand, that you absolutely know that you have to change. But there could be a lot of fear here with this 5 of Swords in your 2nd house. The 2nd house is the house of money, okay? It is the money house. So, you know, it's like, also, I feel like someone, for some of you Libras, somebody at your job could have lied to you about something in order to get you to stay there. Okay. And for those of you that don't have jobs or are looking for jobs, I'll get into that too. But for those of you that have a job, I feel like something was promised to you with this devil energy in your 10th house. But with the 5 of Swords, you know, somebody's lies or somebody's errors of omission are causing significant issues for you. And I don't feel like it's something that you did, okay? And with the 5 of Swords, sometimes it can just be the principle of the matter of what someone did too, okay? And it's insulting, I feel like. And some of you could feel very insulted, and I don't blame you if that's the case, okay? And with the 9 of Pentacles here, I feel like, you know, this is this energy of, well, I'm completely fine. This is the Lord of material gain. I'm completely fine, and what I'm working on will be fine. But with the moon below it, it's like I'm completely fine and I have money, but I don't really know what direction I'm going. And I'm worried about what I'm manifesting because I don't really like this anymore, okay? So there is that energy that has kind of led up to this, okay? And let's see what's in your 11th house. Okay, the 2 of Wands, and that's interesting because I saw the 2 of Wands when I was shuffling your cards during that wake up shuffle. And your 11th house, the 11th house of friends and the fulfillment of your hopes and desires is looking very strong. And I like that. Also with the Emperor at the bottom of your reading, the 4th house also represents home and family, okay? And that's also looking very strong for you too. I mean, you know, it's strong and it's technically good, but it may not be exactly what you want either. And I'll tell you why in a little bit here, okay? Also, I feel like you guys want to feel like you're empowered and you are the, you know, ruler of your castle. And I think at home you are, or you will have the ability to be the one who's very empowered, okay? And we can see the Emperor in the 4th house, and we can also see the shadow side, the Devil card in your 10th house. So the 10th house is the highest point in your chart where we receive recognition. Everything we do is seen, right? And with the Devil there, it's, oh my gosh, you know, as my tarot teacher would say, blink twice if you're in trouble, okay? But with the Emperor in the 4th house, we have also, I feel with the Emperor in the 4th house, there's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, okay? To hold everything together. And yes, you are, you know, yes, you are the strong one. Yes, you are the leader. Yes, you are the one that, you know, can probably be calling the shots, etc., etc. However, there is a lot on your shoulders to keep everything together in a world that is crazy and falling apart as we speak. And I know, like, the world can be crazy. And again, you're holding it together in a very beautiful way. But I can see everyone else is enjoying and playing and having fun and feeling safe and secure because Libra is going to take care of everything for them, okay? And I can also see here that there could be somebody, so I'm looking at this King of Cups in your 3rd house, okay? I haven't even gotten to your 12th house yet. I'm gonna one thing at a time, right? But okay, with this King of Cups, so the King of Cups in the tarot is represented by a Pisces. This person doesn't have to be like a Pisces, but they could carry the characteristics of a Pisces, which is way different than an Aries, which is the Emperor, okay? So the Emperor has the fire. You know, the Emperor energy also represents the number 4. So there's the structure and the discipline as well that comes with the Emperor, but also the Emperor has the fire to keep going when everyone else is dropped off. You know, the Emperor can still has just an everlasting fire. But also the Emperor is like, I'm the one making the decisions here. I'm deciding who stays and who goes. I'm deciding the rules around here. You know, as your parents probably said to you in the past, if you don't like the rules, you can get out of my house, okay? And for some of you Libras that are older, that have children that are at that point, some of you could actually have, because your 5th house represents children in astrology. For those of you that do have a children, you may have told them, look, if you don't like my rules, if you don't like what I'm doing, you can leave. All right. And for those of you that have kids that are a little bit older, you may have children that have decided to move out. But here's the thing, Libra, and maybe some of them just moved out because it was time for them to move out. But here's the thing. The thing about that is, I think you've done everything that you can, whether, you know, and for those of you that have younger children, you know, there's still more time to go, etc. But also, I just think the Emperor in the 4th house is a recognition from Spirit that you're doing such a great job. You know, whether you have children or not, you're doing such a great job of holding everything together, of being accountable, of, you know, making, because the Emperor, you know, what's the old saying from Fight Club? It's something, and the Emperor isn't a queen, but you know what I mean? Where it's like, you know, even the queen, it's like because you think about a queen in a hive, right? And all the bees it's like even the bees can rest, even the hive can rest. The queen is the slave, you know what I mean? Or the Emperor is the slave, in the sense that the Emperor is the one that's responsible. The buck stops here. Okay, so I also, for those of you that have children that are just like, peace out, I can't handle this environment anymore. Or maybe they've just decided, hey, you know, it's time for me to move on and do my own thing in life. I feel like Spirit just wants you to know, like, you've done a really fine job, and you know, not everyone's going to live their life. When it comes to your family, you've done a very fine job. And you've really done your best, and maybe, you know, you didn't listen to other people all the time, and maybe other people annoyed you at times in your family, but I also think you've done your best. And I also think you've worked really hard to keep yourself together and keep it together. And, you know, at some point, we have to be willing to let go. And I do see with the Emperor in Death, with your 4th house and 5th house, I do see a clash of the wills. You know what I'm saying? We have Aries and then we have Scorpio, and they're both very fiery, you know, and then we have the Tower in your 8th house. So, you know, because it's in the 8th house, the 8th house represents what's hidden. So there's a lot of hidden tension and pressure, and it may just be better if somebody decides to kind of take their own direction for a while and just leave you be. Because with the 4 of Swords, I think, you know, you need to be left to be a little bit here, okay? Although abandonment may be an issue that has scared you in the past with the Tower in the 8th house, I think at some point we just have to say, okay, I'm going my path, you go your path, and, you know, we'll get together, we'll meet up later or something, you know, because I see 2 stubborn energies here that are just, you know, going in different directions. And that's, you know, that's the way it be sometimes in life, as they say, it be that way sometimes. But I also just feel like Spirit is saying, you know, you've done you may feel like your career is in the shittiest spot ever, and that you've had to make a lot of sacrifices for your family with the Emperor here in order to keep that together. But now you feel like, well, my career feels like shit now, or I'm not doing what I want to do, and I'm very burdened by that. And I'm also a little bit scared of, you know, what effect, if I did decide to leave this job or do something different, I feel like my finances would really take a hit, you know, and I would be disappointing people, right? With the Five of Swords in your second house, the Lord of Defeat, okay? And the Tower is also scared in the 8th house about how its changes and influences are going to affect other people. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think there is something about that going on here, because if you've always been the steady hand, then, but there's all these unexpressed needs, especially sexually, with the Tower in the 8th house, for sure. The 8th house is a house of sexuality as well. And with the Tower there, you guys are about ready to burst. However, your partner doesn't really feel like it with the Five of Pentacles, or they, you know, and maybe it's like, okay, well, I want to be able to, but I'm too tired. I want to be able to, but, and I am getting this thing of rejection, okay? So maybe either, you know, and with the Four of Swords, we're kind of like sniffing and saying, you know, when people like sniff and go, well, it's okay, you know, and I'll be fine either way. And I think you guys have that very logical mindset, which can get you through a lot of things. I also think you guys have the ability to kind of disconnect if you want to too. The Four of Swords in the tarot is a Jupiter in Libra card. So, I mean, it is a Libra card, and Jupiter, of course, is, you know, the most benefic planet out of all the 7 classical planets. It is, you know, the big daddy of gifts, and the big mama or the big daddy of gifts and surprises and happy things and happy thoughts and good energy. Okay, so the Four of Swords is not technically, I feel like for you guys, technically, if it was just you, you'd be fine. But if you have other things and other people, if there's at least 3 other people or 3 other things, then that's when, you know, that's when it starts to get a bit more upsetting with the Five of Swords in your second house. And I can see her sword is pointed down at the 5 swords. So it's this sense of feeling defeated because like no one's helping me. Maybe that type of feeling too. All right, Libra. But I want to get back to something I skipped before. So you have the Emperor in your 4th house. And I talked about how that is a family energy, and about how you guys are like, you know, very strong in that, but maybe very underappreciated at times too. Okay. And so we're going to get more into this Five of Swords in your second house too. I'm sorry, my attention, I'm a Mercury in Gemini. My attention goes 1,000 different directions. But anyway, so you guys are the Emperor in the 4th house energies. All right. Now, here's the thing I'm seeing. In your 3rd house is the King of Cups. And I explained the difference between Pisces and Aries a little bit. Okay, especially the Emperor versus the King of Cups. The Emperor is very well defined in what he's doing. He's very seasoned. He's been doing it for a long time. He knows how to push his agenda in order to guard his position. And he also knows how to construct and frame his world in a way that he feels or she feels best serves them and other people around them, because they are tasked with being the leader. And that is Aries energy, that leadership quality and that fiery quality. Okay. And, you know, and it's interesting, the Hebrew letter associated with the Emperor is He, and that means window in English. And so the Emperor has a view, okay, and he has a sight. He has his sight set on something, and, you know, of like the nest egg of the family, or the goals or the dreams of the family, okay? The Emperor is charged with all of that. It's a lot of responsibility. And I often say that the Emperor looks like he hasn't been getting any either. Like he looks like, you know, very weighed down by some things. And I always say the Emperor sometimes to me feels like he's lacking in sacral chakra energy, okay? But it's because you've had to be that way. Now, with the King of Cups is the opposite really to that. The King of Cups is more open and more open to interpretation. And the King of Cups is more, their energy is more like, instead of being so rigid, right? The King of Cups is, and you could say the Emperor can be rigid. The King of Cups is more relaxed, more free-flowing, more easygoing, and still very commanding, all right? Because all the kings represent fire in the tarot, and the King of Cups is the fiery part of water, you know, which doesn't sound like those fire and water should go together. But this is a person who's, you can see from the stance here, this is also a person who's very confident in their viewpoints and just doesn't see the world in the same way that the Emperor does, okay? And this is in your third house of communication. And since it's a court card, we have an actual person here. So there may be somebody in your life, Libra, whose perception of events and the way that things are handled and the way that things are done are different than yours. It's like, you know, when you have two siblings and they both grow up in the same family and have the same parents and live in the same house, but one of them has a very different way of like seeing the history of what happened and the tendencies. And, you know, because you're the Emperor in the fourth house, you guys, even if you don't have like a husband or a wife or a partner or children in your own families, I can see you guys taking a strong leadership role, okay? And it's like with the Death card here, if they don't like it, they can get out of my way, because who else is willing to take this on? All right. But with the King of Cups in your third house, we have somebody here who to me looks like they're challenging you, okay? And you may have a challenging sibling. Okay, some of you could have a challenging sibling, because the third house in astrology is a house of siblings. It's also a house of communication and perception. So this King of Cups perceives the world a lot different than you, and it feels like we're clashing. It feels like you and this person are having a bit of a clashing moment, okay? And I feel like you guys are kind of laughing a little bit and saying, this person does this all the time, or you're slightly amused. Maybe you're not full on laughing, but there is like a smile in the corner of your mouth and you're a little amused maybe, because you're like, you know, if you have something to say about the way I'm living my life, then come and step into my shoes. Because if you're not willing to come and step into my shoes and deal with what I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, then don't tell me how I should be living my life, and don't tell me what you think my life is about, okay? So I also see with the Emperor, you guys really standing your ground, okay? And with the Death card in your fifth house too, people may have not approved of the way that you lived your life, etc., when you were a kid either. I mean, the fifth house has to do with children, your children, but also, you know, when I've tested it in readings, and also I get a feeling for the way it was when you were a child as well too. So we can see a very fiery, stubborn, you know, person who really wanted to do things on their own terms, okay? And yeah, so also I feel like you guys could be very busy working on, because the Death card has to do with movement, okay? At its heart, it's a Mars card, and it wants to move us forward into new life, okay? And it is a fire card, even though Scorpio is a water sign, okay? Because Mars is the ruler of Scorpio. So there's a lot of Mars energy here. All right. And for some of you, you could have had a parent that just went and was gone all the time, constantly gone all the time, and just were off living their life and doing what they wanted and pursuing what they wanted to do, while you just felt maybe left behind, or you felt unseen. Okay, I'm also getting that energy for you guys. And so I think you've taken it upon yourself to be a stabilizing figure with the Emperor. All right, but some of you may have some siblings or just somebody in your life. It doesn't have to be a sibling. It could be a friend, it could be another relative like an uncle or whoever, but there is somebody else here who has a different viewpoint than you, and I don't know if you guys really want to hear it, okay? Interesting, okay? But I also feel like, in a way too, since this is your chart for the next month, Libra, I feel like your perceptions are kind of changing as well. And you may be, the thought I'm getting is, does it really have to continue to be this way? And we may see you becoming like more organic and more flowy. And you may start to dial back the intensity a little bit with the way that you're looking at the world and the things around you, even just for your own, mental sanity, with the Four of Swords in the first house. You know what I'm saying? Which the Four of Swords is definitely, it's Jupiter and Libra. So after the Three of Swords, we finally gained some mental sanity and found a place that doesn't feel so horrible. You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like with the Four of Swords, it's a little precarious, because if we add one more sword, we're into the Five of Swords, which is rough energy, okay? So it's like if we take on too much mentally, we find ourselves in Five of Swords territory. So I think maybe with your third house with the King of Cups is also talking to you guys about lightening up a little bit, or about just seeing things more in a more, like, if I don't get to that right away today, or if I don't do this for this person exactly right now, like, people can wait, okay? Because I need to take care of myself. So I am seeing that with the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is also where we can feel comfortable with ourselves mentally, at least for a brief moment. You know what I'm saying? Until something happens with our money, with the Five of Swords in your second house, or until somebody in our family is pressing our buttons, until our kids are acting, like nothing we did for them was even important to them, with the Death card in the fifth house, and they're just, peace out, like, I don't give a fuck, that type of thing, okay? So, I think ultimately you guys will have the ability to stay, because the Four of Swords is fundamentally, though, optimistic, because it is a Jupiter card, okay? So, and it is the Lord of rest from strife. So, finding moments to yourself where you can just be peaceful, meditative, contemplative, and you always don't have to be on guard with something to say or do, I feel like is going to be good for you. And all of a sudden in this reading, I feel, oh, my energy is dropping, okay? And I hope I didn't make you guys feel like your energy was dropping by listening to this reading, okay? Maybe some of you are like, I'm closing my ears now, okay? But we got a lot more to go, and things can always get better. Let's look at your, Temperance in your 12th house. Okay, so that's very interesting, because I like that, because it shows me that, the 12th house in astrology is where we can have our own self undoing, but you have the Temperance angel in your 12th house saying, give this a chance, give this, new idea, or give this new thing a chance. I feel like your angels are just lightly touching your shoulder and saying, give us a chance and let us help make it better for you. You know what I'm saying? And with Temperance in the 12th house, it makes it feel like we can finally get over some of the things that we've been doing that are frankly like shooting ourselves in the foot, okay? And what I see with all this Mars energy here with the Tower, Death, and the Emperor is that, and the Devil too, is that we have a lot of energy around you that's all or nothing, okay? It's black or white, it's all or nothing. It's either this or get the hell on, okay? And with Death in the 5th house of pleasure, it's like, this is what I want to do. You know, I want to screw, I want to have a good time, I want to enjoy myself. And if you don't want to do that with me, then I'm going off to do it on my own, okay? So there is this kind of dire all or nothing energy. And with Death here, it's like, I'm going to go find my own fun. I'm going to go pursue. And maybe with Death here in your 5th house of pleasure, some of you are wanting to escape the mundane and the vanilla, especially with the Tower in your 8th house, and release some of that tension that you've been having, okay? But Temperance in the 12th house of our self-undoing says that, you know, life isn't an all or nothing zero-sum game. You know what I'm saying? And life is about trying things and seeing if they work. And you know, when you have the 2 of Wands in the 11th house, talking about your hopes and desires and wishes, that's an energy of, I want it now. You know what I mean? I'm doing it myself and I'm not waiting for anybody else and I want it now. You know, what's that song? I want it all and I want it now. You know, I think it's from the 80s or something. And then they used it in a commercial, which definitely could represent capitalism, you know, consumer capitalism. I want it all and I want it now, right? Not saying that you guys are like that, but you know, that attitude of it's either got to be this or nothing is sometimes what we find with the Devil, the Emperor, Death, and the Tower. You know, that's a lot of, you know, and Mars is also exalted in Capricorn. And the Devil represents Capricorn, okay? So there's a need to look at things for what they really are instead of what we just want them to be, and to kind of face the music, you know, especially when it comes to your reputation. And some of you with the Devil in your 10th house may feel like laying low with this 4 of Swords, because it's kind of a laying low energy, like I'm just gonna lay low and not push it, because the 10th house is also the house of our reputation. So some of you may feel like, oh shit, I kind of did something impulsively and now I feel like it kind of made me look bad. So I'm just gonna lay low for a little bit, okay? And I know how that is. I know how that is. Even though I feel like this 4 of Swords in particular, you really want to say something, but I also feel like impulsively saying something may not be the best idea, okay? For some of you, particularly at work, it may create a financial situation with the 5 of Swords in your house of money that you really don't want to deal with, okay? But I also feel like this is a month for you to find ways to do things that are easier. You know what I'm saying? Because the 4 of Swords is about embodying that energy of ease. So it's like, you know, even though the sky may be falling and there's all this shit and, you know, the world's crazy right now. People are losing their jobs left and right. There's cheaters. People are getting fired. You know, all the things in life. Kids are, you know, running away and, you know, doing stuff that we don't approve of. Whatever it is, you know, like, I feel like, you know, you guys, if you, with the 4 of Swords, if you have the ability to kind of, I don't want to say zone out, but maybe there's a little bit of zoning out that we need to do. If you have the ability to just maybe zone out and chill for a minute and just wait a little bit, I think things are going to get better with Temperance in your 12th house, okay? Because the 12th house is also what's really trying to, for me as an astrologer, is about what's trying to emerge and what's trying to be known, you know, maybe in the next lifetime. For those of you that have, you know, for those of you that know your charts, think about what is in your 12th house, you know, and think about what skills you can pick up in this lifetime that will be like with you in your next lifetime. All right. And it is about becoming self-aware and aware of what we're saying. And I feel like the King of Cups can really slow down and be self-aware as to what they're saying and how they're seeing things, okay? So I think there's incredible gifts with Temperance in the 12th house waiting for you guys, where you can really merge your energies with the divine and tap into that universal flow. And I hope I'm not losing some of you there with my, woo-woo talk, but I really do think there's this ability for you guys to bring things together that you wouldn't thought that would go together. And I know sometimes in life we just have to be like, no one around here is helping, so I have to do everything. It's my way or the highway at this point. I know there's times in life like that, but I also feel like Temperance is emerging or wants to emerge from your 12th house and be known to you, okay? And I also feel like the spiritual side of life wants to be known and be with you. Do you know what I'm saying? For those of you that enjoy prayer, for those of you that enjoy meditation, for those of you that enjoy some type of spiritual or religious type of a thing, I think that is very wonderful when you're dealing with a lot of impulsive, live wire type energy around you, okay? And maybe if you worry that you may say or do the wrong thing in a bad moment, and you really want to keep it together. So I feel like with Temperance in your 12th house, it's very spiritual. It's also very left leaning. And I know, I don't know why I'm getting that, but maybe some of you, I don't know. I'm not trying to say people's political affiliations of left versus right. And I'm not really even talking about politics. I'm talking about having an attitude that's more left leaning or more accepting and maybe not so much all or nothing about your life, okay? And I think that is going to, regardless of what your politics are, I think that's going to be more, because I'm getting the word of self-acceptance here too. And Temperance isn't the easiest path on the tree of life. It really isn't. And a lot of people think it's really easy to master the lessons of Temperance. It isn't. It's very challenging because it involves skill and a lot of trial and error and a lot of grace that we must give to ourselves and be aware to, okay? So that's a highly spiritual influence in your 12th house. And frankly, I'm enjoying that. I think mostly more than any of the other cards on your spread. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, with the Emperor here, I feel like you have the ability to take care of things and make things happen. And if some of you are looking for money, or I feel some of you may have big dreams or goals when it comes to owning a house or having a home, but you may be you may get kind of down with this 5 of Swords in your second house and think, defeating thoughts and think, well, it's never going to happen. And these are my goals. And, because the Emperor knows his or her goals and what they're trying to do and reach. Okay. And it's very definitive about that. As my tarot teacher would say, the Emperor is the energy of specialization. So even if it comes to with your 4th house, building a house or owning a house or getting a new place or something like that, you know exactly what you want, or you have in your head what you want. But you may be thinking, yeah, but what I want, I can't get with the money that I have. Okay. So there may be somebody in your 3rd house of communication that wants to enlighten you about this, but you guys may be thinking, well, this person is like Pollyanna, or they're not really seeing the reality of things. However, they may actually have some good advice for you. So I wouldn't completely turn them off if they have some life advice for you about being flexible towards your goals and dreams when it comes to where you live, for those of you looking for a place, okay? So that's going on. And we have the 2 of Wands in your house of the fulfillment of your desires, okay? So, you guys are very strong in knowing what you want And because the Two of Wands is a Mars and Aries card, it's like, I know what I want and it should just come to me because I'm great and I've done a lot here, okay? So I see that, again, we have more Mars energy for you guys, okay? And you've got your eye on the prize with the Two of Wands here. But I think at the same time, there's so much more left to be done. And I think you guys are just energized or anxious or, you know, wanting it to hurry up. I feel like it's like, let's go, you know, with the fulfillment of my desires. It's about time. Some of you may feel like it's about time that I actually pursue the fulfillment of my desires and really, really go after that. However, I think your career with the devil in your 10th house of career is not what you actually really want to be doing. Do you know what I'm saying? Your desire, your efforts, and your passion with the Two of Wands lies in another direction. And for some of you, that could be a temperance-like related field of being a healer or some type of spiritual person or healer or... you know, with the devil is very structured. It's very much like corporate. It's very much 9 to 5. Temperance is more like somebody that could work as an environmentalist, conservationalist. Okay, somebody that works outside, somebody that has a laid back environment in their work where, you know, they work when they want to work, and when they sleep, they sleep. And they work when they want to work, and they work at the hours when they're actually the best. Okay, I'm actually seeing the morning hours as being an interesting time for your spiritual introspection, Libras. And for those of you that are night owls, you may be like, oh God, no, Natalie, please, okay? But I actually feel like, you know, something special spiritually in the next month could happen to you guys in the wee hours of the morning if you happen to wake up, okay? It's nice, all right? And I just feel like the reason why your passions are disconnected from your 10th house of career is because you might be doing something out of fear or doing something that you feel you should be doing to get the recognition that you want, but your passions are actually in another direction. Okay, and the devil makes us feel trapped and makes us feel like we can't really, like, I'm just dead in the water. I can't really do what I want. I might as well just sit here and flounder like a fish because I can't even get back in the water. I don't even, you know, I just have to stay here stuck and whatever, you know, and I know how that is. I went, you know, I mean, granted, I had a 20-year career doing something else, and many of those years were good, but I would say the last couple of years were a real nightmare for me because I was like, I cannot do this anymore. You know, I don't even care about this job anymore. So, you know, when you get to that point, or, you know, when you just feel, and some of you that aren't working, or you are very underemployed, or you're not working, you may just feel like, I'm getting this energy. I'm actually seeing somebody like slouching down in their chair and going like, you know, and you might just be feeling kind of like frustrated or quiet at this point, and maybe just trying to accept, you know, the shittiness, like resign yourself to something. However, it's like, well, this is my lot in life. I guess I better just do it. However, an important lesson of the devil is that a lot of times we don't really move or leave or break those chains until it just becomes, you know, it becomes to a point where we just can't do it anymore. We get to like a breaking point. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like some of you intuitively with this tower in your 8th house can feel a breaking point there, okay? Or that it's building up within you, okay? Now, and that's okay. Sometimes we have to have those key moments of shifts in our life where we just have to freaking go for it and believe in ourselves. And that's what the Two of Wands really wants to do, is just go for it and believe in him or herself and start a new path, okay? So there's this energy of, I want to start a new path, okay? If this isn't going to work, I want to start a new path. And The other thing I'm seeing is the Eight of Wands in your ninth house of spirituality, higher learning, and your dreams and visions and goals that fuel your 10th house. So, you know, you guys have, like, the Eight of Wands is a spark of fire and electricity that comes in hard and fast. And, you know, sometimes it's like a little too much, but I think in your guys' case, it's excitement. Do you know what I'm saying? So you do have dreams or goals or visions that seem refreshing or exciting to you. And I just feel like for some of you, they're either not being heard in your career space, they're not being heard, or there's some, they're not being heard, or there is some, because the Eight of Wands is opposite, completely opposite from the Devil, because the Eight of Wands represents pure freedom. Like my goals and my dreams, my goal and dream is to have pure freedom to do and pursue what it is that I want to do. Okay. And I mean, a lot of us on this planet, we find ourselves in this quandary, and we find ourselves like sometimes feeling like we just have to give up with the Devil, because as much as we have all this exciting energy, we just don't know how to bring it forward, or we just don't know how to materialize it. Okay. But the good thing, there's actually a couple good things about the Devil. All right. Like everyone's, oh, and you know, this is maybe where I depart a little bit from some of my teachers with the Devil, who think, because I actually think there's gold in working with the shadow side. And I'm not saying my teachers haven't said that, but there's a lot of negativity around the Devil. However, I think as human beings, we're meant to master those energies and not stay stuck in them. But if you're still in a phase of mastering the material world and what it means to be in a material world, then sometimes you gotta stay there and make it work. You know what I'm saying? And the Devil is all about, it's the biggest expression of materialization on the earth plane out of any card in the deck. It is the most salt of the salt. It is the most earth of the earth. So, you know, there is a shadow side here. And it's interesting in this deck because it's called the shadow side. So maybe there's some exploration that needs to happen, and looking at our shadow side and, like, you know, why we're doing what we're doing, and if we are doing something that we're not comfortable with, that's making us feel very low, then what is it that is putting us in that position, and why do we feel we have to carry that burden ourselves? You know, so these are some shadow side reflective reflective thoughts. And with the Eight of Wands, to me, this is always a good journaling card. It's like a frenzied card, so it's like just start writing down your thoughts and seeing, you know, I don't know why I always think of the Eight of Wands as journaling, but it's like write down your thoughts and see what materializes. And if your thoughts are coming hard and fast and quick, just run with it. Okay. And with the Emperor here, I think I know the reason why some of you are feeling that heaviness of the Devil in your 10th house of career. And I think it's because of your responsibilities to your home or your family, or what's expected of you. Or for those of you that have children, you know, there's certain things that you have to do. If I would have had children, I would have had to probably stay in my old job. I don't know that I would be doing what I'm doing now. So it's you know, in life, there's all these. With Libra, you have to be ready to balance. You know what I'm saying, Libra? I think you guys know that. But with the Devil, we've clearly gone way out of balance. We still have to respect the material world with the Devil and all that it requires, but we don't have to make it the biggest thing in our life. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying, Libras? Okay, so I want to go ahead and get a love card for you guys and see what we can see with regard to your love life. Okay, we want this one. Spirit wants this. Ooh, no wonder Spirit wanted that one. Look at these two in their embrace. We have passion, A magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at the present moment. Enjoy it. And I would definitely think that that comes with the Tower in your 8th house and Death in the house of your house of pleasure, you know, and this Death card is very, you know, inflamed with the power and passion of forward movement and pleasure, like really, really stepping into one's pleasure regardless of the consequences, even. You know what I'm saying, Libra? And the Tower also invites us to just do something and deal with the consequences later too. You know, it's very Martian energy. So there is passion, and I mentioned passion with the 2 of Wands. And when you guys are in your passion, you have a magnetic and seductive quality around you. And I would definitely say this 9 of Pentacles, particularly in this deck, has a magnetic and seductive quality about her, okay? And I think, you know, even if your partner isn't feeling it with the 5 of Pentacles, there's something deep within you that is definitely feeling it. Or if the person that you're talking to isn't really feeling it, or they made you feel rejected in some type of way, realize that your passion is within you. And the magnetic and seductive quality that is you, never let that anyone take that from you, Libra, because you know what? Venus is your ruler. And as a son or daughter of Venus, you are meant to be passionate in this world, okay? As a son or daughter of Venus, you are meant to hook up with Mars, which is called passion, okay? And maybe some of you are working on the relationship with yourself and feeling passion within yourself, okay? But when you are at the height of your powers, you are very magnetic and seductive, okay? And, you know, your partner may not be feeling the most magnetic and seductive with the 5 of Pentacles in your house of partners, but oh, and I realized I never addressed the 7 of Cups in your 6th house, okay, of stress. And maybe that's just because it's like, well, I would be stressed and I would be, you know, upset about things, but I got too much to think about and I've got too many things I'm trying to run through here. I don't even really have time to think about that. And actually the thing that may stress you out the most is, you know, all the things that you want or desire, okay? And some of you, because the 6th house is also a house of the body for me as a reader, our health and our bodies, and some of you just may be feeling like disconnected from your body or just not really paying that much attention to your health. Like, I really should not eat this entire cake. I really should get more sleep. I really should, you know, stop wolfing down this entire bag of Cheetos. But how could I really stop doing that when there's so many yummy treats in the world? And so, you know, the 7 of Cups could also be about making healthy choices for yourself. So, you know, so that you can feel your best and look your best and be that magnetic, seductive person that you are, okay? So let's go ahead and see. Spirit, what does my Libras need to be focusing on? What does Libra need to be? Okay, they want this one. Mars, force, okay? Handling your Mars energy, okay? And we have Saturn on the bottom of the deck. This talks about where things have been very, very slow. They've been very uncomfortable. And Saturn is, you know, the major malefic, and then Mars is the lesser malefic. But this could also just be handling the Mars energy that you're going to be experiencing in a mature manner. You know what I'm saying? And making sure you're putting it into, you know, the things that feel good for you, okay? So Mars has to do with our energy and what gets us out of bed in the morning and, you know, the passion and seductive. Well, seductive is more Venus, but Mars has to do with sexual advances and, you know, making a move, okay? So there's that whole thing going on. But we have Mars and passion. So this 11th house of your hopes and your dreams and your passions and your visions and your ideas with the 8 of Wands, okay? but also not directing your passions in the same old areas that you always have been doing, which could be family and children. And I get it, children have to be taken care of and all of that. But what about your other things? You know what I'm saying? Libra, what about that Mars energy? Okay, so Spirit really wants you to focus on using your Mars energy in a mature and responsible way. But I also think not putting your Mars energy into the same old crap, and just, and I know sometimes we feel like our world is going to fall apart if we do that, but you know, you'll find a way. With Temperance, you'll find a way, okay? And you want to find a way, all right? But let's go ahead and see what energy here. And Temperance is actually a fire card. It's a Sagittarius card. And Temperance is handling, the 2 cups represent fire and water. Do you know what I'm saying? Libras, I almost called you Scorpios. So some of you may have Scorpio in your chart, but do you know what I'm saying? Libra, Scorpio people, Temperance knows how to handle that energy and do it really well and make it look really good. So Temperance could be a card that you could meditate on and read about if you're really wanting to bring some of those energies to light for you, okay? So let's go ahead and see. Spirit, can you show me the animal influence here for Libras as they embark here? Canary Spirit, sing your own song. I love that. Sing your own song, okay? And like I said, you know, like with this 11th house and your 2 of Wands, and not stopping yourself from experiencing what you truly want to experience. With Temperance, we have to have more of a balance, you know, and it has to be your song. It has to be your thing. It has to be, you know, and look at this canary is wearing a crown, right? And there's the flute. Some of you may be liking singing or music. I mentioned writing with the 8 of Wands in the 9th house. Some of you may have some goals and dreams around that too. And I would say, you know, sing your own song and enjoy it on top of that. Sing your own song and enjoy it. I'm going to go ahead and get one more card for you, Libra. Sing your own song. No need to copy anybody else. You're the true original. You're my true OG Libras. No need to copy anyone else's song. Sing your own song, okay? That takes, you know, both the fire and the water, okay? Let's go ahead and see. That's the passion, okay? Let's go ahead and see for my Libras. What's the number one thing Libra should be focusing on right now? I would also, again, I would just, okay, I have to quick interrupt. I would say the will, the power, and the passion to sing your own song and do things the way you want to do without, you know, without black and whiting yourself into a corner. Do you know what I'm saying? Without shutting yourself down. Let's see what else here. What does Spirit want Libra to focus on? What does Spirit want? Okay. What does, oh, there it is. Okay. Freedom is on the bottom of the deck. So that's something that you guys are craving too, you know, a secret wish. And we have here commitment. Okay, we have the difference between freedom and commitment. And I feel like this is, you know, we have freedom and lighten your load underneath it. Okay, so you guys, I can see you really, and new beginnings, like really thinking about how you can let go of some things so that you can heal, all right, and find more happiness. Okay, but as I talked about, exploring your, it's an interesting thing for you guys because exploring your passions and your magnetic energy in a mature and responsible way, okay? And also some of you could really be looking for, like, and when we see commitment, we see these 2 birds flying together and sharing the same feeling about something, okay? So there's also this thing of you don't have to do it all on your own either. And other people need to show up and be there for you too, and need to help you lighten the load, okay? And for some of you who have been over committing yourself and overdoing it and underdoing what you really want to do, then issues surrounding commitment and what that means to you is up for consideration during the next month. It's a question mark, I feel like. What does commitment mean to you? How do you define commitment to your partner, to your goals, to your family, to yourself? How do you define commitment? For you personally, what does that mean for you? And where do you want to put your energy? Okay, because that's the question mark of Mars. Where do you want to put your energy? Okay, and the canary is about creativity, singing your own song. And the passion is about sexuality, in my opinion. So we are going to go ahead and take it to your extended reading, Libra. For those of you that would like to join me on my Vimeo channel, there'll be a link in the description box below, and you can go ahead and follow me there, and we will get into your 18+ love reading and go deeper into your love situation. Thank you so much, Libra, and I hope that you have a blessed month. Take care.